Hello. Okay, we're starting now. Though I should first double check one thing. Hello. Audio's good. Yippee. We're here. And for today's special live stream presentation, uh, we talked about Artificers. No, we talked about the Scion last time. Oh, also I did an update to my model, first of all. I it's not, it's a work in progress, but it's all right. Who am I kidding? This is great. Um, emotes. Emotes are fun. So yeah, Scions last time. Now we might as well talk about Artificers. Just cause. And we'll be taking the homebrew thing. There's actually not a lot to update with the Artificer for 0.11. Just maybe more of the magic item properties, and that's a lot more of an issue with trying to balance those, I think. But before we actually talk about what changes I would do to Scion, I might have to explain what Artificer. Yeah, what changes I have to do to the Artificer. I should explain how to Artificer. Surprise, we are in a PowerPoint presentation. Today, I am just going to ask one simple question. What happens when you learn a spell as an Artificer? It's a big question. With the infusion magic feature of the Artificer, you will learn 3 infusions, but then you, at level 1, still learn 4 spells. And those 4 spells could be picked as infusions as well as every other level up. When you get a new spell, you can pick an infusion as well. It's just a simple, do you want a spell or an infusion, right? If you pick spell, the Artificer's spell list consists of Conjure, Elemental, and Transmutation. And for some reason, there's the Strike tag, which is just the Imbue spells, which are already under Transmutation. It's weird. But yeah, that's basically those. So then, if you pick Infusion, you get to pick a magic item property. As of right now, there are 107 magic item properties within the DC20 magazine for magic items. I say 7 because there's one that just increases your grit points, and they're getting rid of grit points next time, so I'll just remove that one from our count because we know that one's going to get scrapped. And however, these aren't just regular magic item properties you're adding, because whenever you have multiple choices and you learn an infusion that has these multiple choices, you have to pick one of those options to be your infusion. And every time you pick that same infusion, you can select a different option. So with all the infusions that list a damage type as an option, you have 12 different options within those 6 in magic item properties. You can see here, change damage type only has 11 because it excludes the true damage type. Thorn, on the other hand, does let you deal true damage, and dude, pick that one. That's the only one you really need for Thorn. But then for like resistance X, well, we already know that we're getting rid of that and replacing it with limited damage resistance. But then, do you want true damage resistance? That could either be incredibly, like, amazing, but also very rare because when our enemy's going to be dealing true damage, it's yeah, kind of a choice. But as you can see, with all of these options added together, you actually have 71 infusions right here. You then have the conditional variables. You have three versions of critical condition and critical resilience. Of those, you have. Sorry, the notification just. Of these conditions being variables, totally thrown off. You have the three variants of the critical condition: minor, moderate, and major. And those have lists of conditions that are applied to those conditions and are separated because of how powerful those conditions are. So then the magic value of those conditions tell you how much it's worth. Of course, I forgot to mention, when you infuse an item with an infusion, you then have to spend mana that is then removed from your max mana until you dispel the mana in the item to make it a mundane item. And that is based on your mana spend limit, meaning you can only get the minor condition infusions at level 1. So then, those are all 48. I know there's like a difference between the numbers, but that's, yeah. Also, we were going to be cutting some conditions from the game as well. 0.11 is getting rid of some conditions, so this number at least is going to get shrunken down. That's nice. Then there's creature type variables. You have 3 options here, and there's 12 creature types. So, yeah, there got 36 right there. Easy peasy. Then there's skill increase, trade increase, and language minor. I modified this because we know there are going to be 9 skills in the game, and thus 29 trades as well. So with that, we have that many variables for these traits specifically. And then minor trait, which is a 0 cost trait, so it's not really worth it. You have to pick one of the 14 languages available. And common is not included in that number. Of course, with the 0 cost thing, I believe it's not really useful to get that as an infusion compared to anything that costs at least 1 mana. But I believe you can just apply it without spending any mana. The issue is that you still have to apply at least 1 mana to your item. So you can apply skill increase and then add on the minor language trait. You could probably just add all your minor language traits if you really wanted, but like, if you're kind of doing that, you're better off getting the language major, which lets you pick 3 different languages. But oh no, you have to pick those 3 languages when you learn the infusion. And so, with calculating the permutations of this, we actually have 364 variants of this one infusion. Okay. Man, you did come here knowing a lot about these numbers, right? Oh, yes. Then there's the one I'm like, sentience minor. With this trait, your item becomes sentient. So cool, you got a talking sword. That's great. However, you also then get to pick the charisma and intelligence attribute value of that sentient sword. You don't have to pick might or agility because it can't do any physical trades or activities. So, nope, can't do that. And from that, you have to pick either -2 or 3, and the total between the two have to equal 1. Calculating the permutations of this is as easy as just laying them out on a table. There's only 6. Easy enough. And then you get the 10 spaces of hearing, sight, and telepathy. But then you also get to learn 1 additional language. So we get to multiply by 14 to get 84. Again, you have to pick these options when you learn the infusion. And then you don't get to modify them afterwards. You are stuck with either a very charismatic or intelligent sword, and you can apply that same infusion to multiple other items if you want them all, but they are all going to still learn that 1 additional language you learned. Can it get worse? Yes. Moderate sentience adds a few more attribute points, but still gives you the 6 permutations, but then lets you learn 2 additional languages, while also adding dark vision, because your item definitely needed dark vision, I guess. They're really finding some use out of what could have been just a funny ribbon feature onto an item, but they're like, no, we have to find practical use for this. Using the calculation for permutations again, there are 91 combinations of 2 languages that you still have to learn at this point. So then, Sentient Major. This one thankfully only has 5 differences because it's an odd number in between for median. You could have 5 and 5 to equal 10. And then there's the 4 other variants. And then we add Blind Sight because your item needs Blind Sight for some reason. And then 3 additional languages. So we take 364 times it by 5 to get 5,460 different options for Sentient Major. If you want to have an entire personality range of items, you have so many options to pick from, but also, like, at level 1, you're gonna learn the minor sentience, and then it's like, cool, I'm now at level 5, I can now learn moderate sentience. I don't need minor sentience anymore. I would have liked to jump to moderate sentience, but again, it doesn't scale like spells. You have to spend a thing to get the other thing just to get the +3, and even then, you probably don't even want to spend 3 points on an item to get the magic point up, and it's like, what are these traits? Okay. Let's move on to something less complicated. Spell infusions. You have spellcasting, where you learn any spell that gets added to your infusion spell list of. It's like a separate known spell list. Not like this one. It's a separate known spell list whenever you choose to learn one of these 3 infusions. You can then only use those infusions those infusion spells on these infusions, or you can also use any spells you know properly from over here. You cannot use infusion spells for the purposes of normal spellcasting. So, like, yeah, you can. There's options there. There's a lot of options there. There's 161 different spells. However, with spell potions, you can only put in spells that target one creature, and it cannot be a sustaining spell. So then there's only 65 options here. And with spell bombs, non-sustaining, and it has to be an area spell. So that's only 40. Okay, that's a little smaller number. We have 427. So that's how many you could learn. However, you have to consider that when you learn one of these infusions and you pick an infusion spell, that's just added to your list, and you can use any of those infusion spells with any of these. So, like, if you learn the spell potion of healing and the spell scroll of cleansing, you can still make a spell potion of cleansing and a spell scroll of healing. So really, the number kind of goes down to just 161. Technically, kind of. There's like a number of magic properties there. You technically still want that number, but for the purposes of what spell I should learn, is more like 106. So, with all that considered, how many different spell magic item properties are there really in this game? 7,168. But when you want to learn a new spell, you're really using this number, but then you also don't need to double up and learn these spells here. You're much better off learning these spells normally and then using this to get any spells not on the list. So in actuality, when you want to learn a new spell as an Artificer, you have 6,813 options. So, needless to say, you can't make a randomized wheel of all the infusions. Just don't even bother. Unless, of course, you want to have all the infusions by themselves and then spin additional wheels, really, hypothetically, to the one person watching this live. Hello. So that brings us to the actual homebrew thing. There's not a lot, thankfully, that I wanted to change, as I mentioned earlier. But again, these are just quality of life changes to match with 0.11, as I theorize, of course. So that means spell focuses are a thing. We just have shields. Easy. I didn't take out the strike tag. Oh. Okay, never mind. The studio thing's just acting weird, I think. Has it been stuck on... No. Okay, never mind. It's weird that the browser studio thing... Oh, I paused it. No, it's behind. Okay, now it's actually caught up. That explains it. Welcome. Here's what the actual thing is, whatever. What's up? I just blew everything open with how many possibilities Artificers have to learn in infusions which I didn't change any of these. I kept them as it is. That's fine there. For magical craftsman, I just made it 4 trade points instead of 2. Everything else here is nice. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. But yeah, I just kept this here. There's no changes there. But then for talents, I of course removed Mana Core as a class feature, and now you just still get a talent. And then I also had to make up a level 5 feature as well. And for that, I picked with Magical Craftsman, you get another 4 trade points, and then you can pick another resistance to an elemental damage type. Something to ask. What are we asking about? Hello, welcome. You missed my PowerPoint presentation. Enjoy going back to that. Yeah, I am currently making up just the homebrewed version for what the Artificer might be for 0.11, which 4 points, the usual changes, and oh, there's no more cantrips. Wow. This was unchanged. But for the level 5 expert feature, 4 trade points, you get to pick another resistance to an elemental damage type, or you can get 3 trade points. Oh yeah, I got emotes. Uh-oh. Yeah, I got myself some emotes. It's not working. I think it's working. Is it working? Am I happy? Am I crying tears of joy? Yeah, I'm crying tears of joy. I need to stop seeing the what's being thing. Yep. There's a lot. Let's say over 6,000 infusions. So that was kind of one of my goals, was to try and cut down on the absurd ones. But anyway, yes. Making let's talk about you. Yes. I'm an artist making stuff with upgrade anything visually. I be down. Oh well. I guess that'd be something I'd be interested in. I'm just, kind of hoping you're not like bot or anything. Usually these people that are this generous are gonna try and scam me, but Are you already in the DC20 Discord? Wink Warrior, are you already in the DC20 Discord? Okay, well, I guess I'll look into it later if you really need. Because I think I'll be okay. Sure. uh, Admittedly, I was just at this point where I'm just trying out what I can make myself. Um, I'm a bit of an artist myself. Um, and also I haven't even checked out any of the other free stuff for stream overlays. If that's okay. I mean, I'll add you maybe after the stream. We'll see. Okay, Magical Craftsman. Yes. I've given you the option to pick another elemental damage resistance, or get 3 more trade points, because I imagine the fantasy of like a blacksmith who gets into fire and is like resilient to fire. He doesn't need another elemental resistance. He's always been working the fire, and that's fine. It's just a matter of this. Oh, and I can't find. Well, no, it's not server. It's looking through the servers. I gotta add friend. Okay, back to this. Learn 3 more infusions. That's it. Then we go into subclasses, and I added brewing as an option, and then added if I should have made all trades. All trades are at their skill cap. Trade should be trade cap mastery with expertise. Then you can use them on different trades. Just you have to max out these 3 before you can do something else. Though I don't know, maybe a 3rd point would be helpful because I haven't figured out the AP value of this. Armor. This is a pretty cool subclass. But this one relies on overdrive. So, which was a feature that the Mana Core has. So I just renamed this to Arcane Activation and made it so that it has its own uses exactly the same as Arcane Activation, and you can trigger those separately from Overdrive. And the options are, yeah, they're still the same for light and heavy armor. There is, however, no armor expert flavor feature for the armorer. So I just made this up. Yeah, we're just waiting on the crafting rules. I assume that's why there isn't one. But okay. We then get to the talents. Mana Core is still here. I keep saying Mana Core, and it sounds like Manticore. Anyway. And its functions the same, though I did change some of the benefits. I kind of figured the damage one was a little powerful, so I changed it so that you can have a free use of the accuracy martial enhancement, and you can add that to spells as well to get a little more damage that way. And then with overdrive, you can deal +1 damage to all targets or +2 to a single target. So then it's not just for beneficial to use it with area attacks. Damage reduction, it's now you have to pick between the limited damage resistance of physical, elemental, or mystical, because I figured physical elemental is still pretty good. I know we have features that like give you resistance to everything, but I have no idea. Also, instead of prime, it's just going to be halved. You combine that with Mana Core with the armorer, and yeah, you can become Tony Stark anyway. Anyway, there's a chance. Yeah, I can talk with you there. Speed. You increase your speed and starting movement by 2. That's a better idea. And left to teleport. And then focus is unchanged. Infusion conduct, unchanged. Artifice engine, unchanged. And then just so I can have 4 talents, Mana Core expansion is here. Epic. This one, it gives you 2 Mana Cores. That's it. Admittedly, I made it so that you have some restrictions. You can't set 2 Mana Cores on one tiny object or trade tools. You can't benefit from 2 Mana Cores with the same benefits at a time. You have to pick 2 different if you want to use them both at the same time. And then the overdrive, I still don't know how powerful it is. So the 2 mana cores just share the same use of overdrive, and you have to choose which mana core's overdrive effects you want to activate at a time. So the example here is you have a damage mana core on a spell focus and a speed mana core on a ring that you're wearing. You can have both of them equipped. You receive both the speed boost and the damage boost. And when you use overdrive, you get to choose between dealing more damage or teleporting. And then if you have 2 spell focuses that both have the damage mana core, you don't get twice the amount of attack checks, but you instead can swap between the 2 spell focuses and use the benefits no matter what. Thank you. A limited resistance would be worth 6 AP. Okay, like one of the 3 would be worth 6 AP? Maybe. Okay. That's it for the Artificer. Now, I'm not entirely done working with the weapon properties upgrade, but skill increase, I actually can't remember what I changed with this one. But it's an example. Trade increase, though. I only grabbed the ones that I wanted to change. So, trade increase, that one is now leveled at 1. Language, I wanted to add anything that has options. It needs to be put in brackets with the name. So now it's, you learn Elvish or whatever. Yeah, okay. You learn Elvish or whatever. So, and then with this is going to replace the language major. And it basically gets rid of the use of learning all of those languages. It's a object that you have uses with the object action, and it allows you to become fluent in one language of your choice for 1 hour. Done. It's a universal translator. Easy peasy. You now have a magic item that solves all of your problems related to languages. And it's, of course, just a 1 use, and it's just there in case you forget. Or you just don't know a language, and you're just there to solve the problem. You really only need this to just trivialize this one issue where, oh, you don't have the right language. But there it is. Speed. It's worth 1. My half barrow speed is here. The other one used to be 6. Now this one is 3. You get barrel speed equal to half your speed. If you end your turn on the ground, you are pulled directly up to the surface. Okay. Glide speed. Why wasn't this included before? Now, sentience. Okay. There is one version of sentience. With this, your item becomes sentient and has the following statistics. It has charisma of -1, intelligence of -1. It has the 10 spaces of hearing, sight, and telepathy. It can read and speak common. Zoom in one more. It can read and speak common. And it will learn an additional language that the creator knows. So now it's like, yeah, I guess you probably still need the translator. And you can, yeah. Simple as that. But then, the creator still has to can spend 1 magic point power to gain additional traits. It's just like the wild shape, or your ancestries, or crafting a weapon. You just have these, except they are all cost 1, thankfully. We have its charisma or intelligence increases by 4, or both increases by 2. You can gain this trait 3 times, and either attribute cannot exceed 7. So I know you kind of don't want a +7 magic item level yeah, you can do that. You can get a +7 charisma thing level 7. No, 2. Only at level 3. At level 3, you can have an item with the guaranteed checks of a +7. But on the other hand, it doesn't have any skill proficiencies. So it's actually still balanced. Holy shit. Holy shit. See, I surprise myself sometimes. Now you know what my hotkeys are. Okay. Then we have the dark vision. That's cost 1. And then we have blind sight. That actually costs 2 because you also still need to get the dark vision one. And then it learns all the languages the creator knows. Boom. Easy. So the example, yes, a creator could spend 3 magic power to give charisma of 5, an intelligence of 1, and dark vision. So this can scale with your levels, and it'll just be better than having to learn one and then replace the other one. Or, again, but also it's malleable with how much mana you can put into this. So you could have just a bunch of level 1 sentient magic items, and you there you go. If you want to play that. It's now I'm again don't know about getting a +7, but whatever. This is great. Moving on, invisibility. I changed it so that it matches the rules of the invisibility spell, where you cannot make any action or reaction besides the following. However, with a variable, it equals the number of uses. You can use this property X amount of times per day. If you use 4 uses, maybe I should make that as 4. If you use 4 uses of this item, you will stay invisible if you take any other action or reaction. Boom, that's one. I combined 2 properties into one. Reaching. I increased the magic power by 2 because magic this has a lot more thing. Oh yes, what is the point of having a sentient magic item? Well, you could be a mighty fast agility guy who dumped intelligence. And now you have a talking sword that will do all of your intelligence checks. That's my understanding. Alternatively, you put this item somewhere, and then it can, like, see and be used as an alarm. I think that's something. And that's why it gets dark vision and bright light, because then it can be used to, like, spot things. Yeah, that's my understanding. There's the uses of it. Critical horror. Yeah, I know. And again, I think one of the reasons just getting able to pick another language for this sword to talk that you don't know is another reason why you got like 2 and then 3 later on. But yeah, critical hard point. I was just wanted to make sure that this is the same flavor feature as the barbarian, so I just wanted to make sure that, like, you are dealing bonus damage with a critical hit. You need to make a check. You still need to make a check to see if you hit or heavy hit or a brutal hit. Yeah. Critical condition. Again, I wanted the condition in the brackets. And I made this one thing instead of having it be 3 different versions. It now just the magic power now varies equal to the tier of the chosen condition. So all the conditions that were in minor are here in tier 1, with bleeding, burning, charmed, dazed, doomed, impaired, intimidated, slowed, stunned, and taunted. If you wanted a level 2 one, you have to put 2 mana into here, and you can get blind, deafened, disoriented, frightened, immobilized, restrained, or weakened. And then you can put 3 in here, and then it's paralyzed, petrified, stunned, terrified, or unconscious. Of course, this is still, you have to learn, you have to pick the condition when you learn the infusion, however. It's not like this one, where you just, it scales with your levels. This one specifically, you have to still pick the condition. I just figured that because I know not wanting to get a crit is kind of a low chance. That's why the mana magic power is low. If it was something else where it's more on a brutal hit or something else, that would be worth a lot more power points. But there is, with this, you still have the option of free value in combat that you can give to all of your allies. Remember, you don't have to put it on one item. You can spend all your mana to give everyone this condition. So watch out for that. Creature type Bane. I just wanted to put creature type in the title. That's it. I don't know if this is broken or not, but that was it. Quicker draw. This one, I'm not sure. It probably could just be called quick draw. But this is the concealable weapon property. You add the concealable weapon property to it. It's going to get renamed in 0.11. I figured that I'll also add, if the weapon already has this property, you can draw the weapon for free once per round rather than using a minor action. So it's an even quicker draw thing. Yeah. Cool. Now, what happens when you put that on a weapon with cumbersome? I don't know. Do you think you should be able to swap or change your infusion choices as you level up? I do think that could be an idea. You know, because they don't exactly grow in time. There is also the fact that, like, if you're in a specific campaign and you're like, I know that we're getting beasts or going to be fighting undead, you could be like, well, I already have the Bane for dragons, so I'll just relearn this one for undead. I don't know if that's yeah, that's the thing. Oh yeah, I forgot that I could put the chat overlay on here. I had forgot to pop the chat. I wonder if I can just do that now. And OBS is not going to notice it. Okay, it's back now. Sorry. I had this the whole time. And now people are going to be, well, hopefully people are going to see that the stream is going to be kept here. I don't think I changed the thing. Anyway. Here we go. Pinpoint. This is a new one. I figured I'd just add a new one. It gives you the pinpoint property. If you already have the pinpoint property, get 2 more attack. I don't care. Lightweight. Okay, this one I feel controversial. With this, you will ignore the cumbersome weapon property. If the weapon already doesn't have this property, then weapons are not affected by the close quarter penalty. Yeah, you guys been here the whole time, I know, but I didn't have the chat on as an overlay. Which, yeah, I guess I'll have to ask that. This Wink Warrior guy to help me with an overlay. Light weapon. I made this one so that you just now it's 3. I think this property was 2 before. Now I guess it's 3 because it now the agility save is now much more significant. If you have it heavy armor, you ignore the disadvantage. If you have light armor, you get advantage on agility saves. Honestly, this could just say you get agility on you get advantage on agility saves, and then you have to attach it to an armor piece, and then it's like, ah, okay, I see now. Light shield, it just doesn't say anything about the heavy shields. Easy. Damage retaliation. This is replacing the thorns one, where you get to pick a damage type that anyone that hits you with a melee attack will receive. Except true damage. Can't believe I forgot that. Okay. Limited damage resistance. This one I actually lowered from 2 to 3. From 3 to 2. And damage resistance I lowered from 3 to 2. Again, this is limited to only one specific damage type. So if the math is correct and a limited physical resistance is worth 6, then picking one of those physical resistance types is going to help with that. And then true resistance made that 4. I didn't touch the immune one, though I guess that one could be lowered by 1 to be 4. No, 8. It could be 8. Condition resistance, just like the critical condition, I combine them together as the 1. It varies depending on what tier the thing is in, the condition is in. Again, don't know which one of these are getting removed. If I had to bet, paralyzed, petrify are definitely getting cut. Then maybe surprised. But oh well. I'm surprised grappled isn't here. Grappled should be here if prone is here. So and then with this one, there's one that was just called save increase. It costs 2 magic power, and it gives you a save. So I figured I'll just have the effect and make it so that you have to pick either physical or mental saves, and then you get a +1 bonus to both of those. I figured that the save point increase could also just be something. Maybe that's what the 1 magic power is. I'm not entirely sure how valuable that is. I did give the armor one advantage, so on an agility save, so I don't know. But that's it. I did it. Hooray. Yeah, give me a sec to drink some water. Proceeds to drink cranberry Gatorade, cranberry ginger ale instead. Hee hee. Okay. So now we got to make some characters. We gotta make some characters. And we can pretend to use this new Artificer as well. Just like the last time. Whoopee. Where's paint? Here's our trusty guy. And you know what? We can get rid of the watermark now. I think we can. We're fine. The cops aren't coming for us. Let me just move that over there. It's a little better. Oh, and we'll have to go to see if this button works. Boom! It's a quite big of a jump. And then I can just do that. I got a nice hotkey to swap between the two. So I shouldn't have that issue before. So the wheels we'll be spinning this time, we have another class wheel. We have the ancestry wheel. But one of the trade wheel. And with this trade wheel, I have to double check. One of the trades we gotta add. Don't know where it would go. It's in alphabetical order anyway. Okay. Guess it would be right here. Animal. Animal. And just because I'm a little curious, I'll also add language. Language. I spelled it right, probably. Just in case. No, I know where I did spell it right. Yeah, I spelled it right now. So that's 30 options now. By the way, I don't know if you noticed the customize wheel option here. We got there's options for the wheel. We can change how fast it spins. We can change the maximum number of visible names. So that's why there's that silver there. It helps shrink the number of there. And then I have this remove button for when I spin, I get one, and then it gets removed from the list. And I can add a image as well. So you're not done. I told you don't name things final. So I'm gonna actually pick a trade to make our Artificer first. That's the one we'll be expert in, and that's what we're gonna theme our guy around. And then, if need be, well, I'll probably spin the ancestry one, and then if need be, we'll also spin the class one and see what that gives us. Unless we want to just, I'm thinking, oh, I need to like fully get all the trades. I think, yeah, no, we don't need the skills. Right. Hang on. Okay, I need to keep this up so that it actually moves over. But also, why did the overlay move? I'm just gonna shrink. Okay. Let's go. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-da-da. Ooh, yes. This is gonna be fun, guys. Shush. So. Oop. Uh-oh. It's here. So, we get to max out disguise. Disguise is under the charisma attribute. So we're gonna max that one out. Boop, boop, boop. And we won't go too far into it, but this guy. Disguise. This. Guys. Disguises. Ooh. Pick. Charisma is the prime. We can get that, and then don't want to be mighty. Yeah. Something like that. We'll also need to put some skills into charisma. Influence. And we'll do this. We don't need this. And, you know, acrobatics will be fun too. Oh, but also intimidation. I want the intimidation. That's one we could expertise in. Because we're going to be a secret agent of some kind. And if we're being a secret agent guy, oh, well, look at that. I can just pick rogue. So this is a. I had a feeling I'd be picking this. Artificer. But rogue. Actually, oh my god, we can make an armor artificer, baby. Ooh, this is gonna be great. And we'll just spin the wheel. Guys, spin the wheel on Ancestry. Nope. Duh. Um. Weird, right, guys? Okay. Why? Why? Okay. Hello. Nah, we're keeping. Oh, right, we can actually pick two. Right, forgot multi. Yeah. Uh. Oh. The tab closed. Reopen closed tab, please. Go back. Okay, our wheels are still here. Good. Oh. Oh, that's why. Okay. Yeah, that didn't help much either. Yay, oh boy, yeah, dwarf. Charismatic giant born with penchant for disguises. I. This is. This is so weird. I'll write that up at the top anyway. Dwarf giant born. Okay. So I guess tough, because it's with both powerful. Yeah, I know. The giant dwarfed human. He's just wide. He's just wide. Just a wide man. Powerful build. Well, I don't want to say give me a dwarf trait, but like the even I get stubborn. Yeah, we're getting stubborn. Yeah, stubborn. Getting in fusion magic and magical craftsman. What resistance do we give him? It could be anything. Okay, fine. Fine. I will open it up another wheel. Fine. Don't shush. No. Poison. Yeah. Secret agents making. Yeah. Okay. Yep. We'll do poison. Da, 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 da. That was kind of the one I was initially thinking anyway, so. Those class features. Oh, and arcane armor. And we're getting, I'll just say light armor. Cool. Alright, now we have to. I'll go back to here. Yeah, we still have to use the old one to find the correct magic item traits anyway. So, though we can still use our invisibility, my homebrewed invisibility one. So, let's make an infusion ones right here. Visibility. Oh, infusions. Invisibility. And is there a disguise one? I thought there was a disguise one. Oh, come on. No, there wasn't a disguise infusion. Which means we're gonna just have to learn disguise self. Which doesn't need to be an infusion. It's a spell that they can learn. That is a spell they can already learn. Huzzah. Double checking. It's under con. Come on. Come on. You're in conjuration. Disguise self. Yep, that's how you spell it. You're altering yourself and your appearance. And yeah. I do wonder if you can magically alter yourself with this. Is there like a point to having expertise in disguise? Ah, well. And we spelled it correctly. So that is 2 out of, what is it? 7. 2 out of 7. I guess I rolled poison, so like, let's learn inflict poison. Okay. And poison bolt, just because. It'd be nice if there was like a melee poison spell. I could homebrew that. Ooh, wink. Visibility. Disguise. Oh, I still have that here. Disguise increase. Yeah. Why are we doing disguise increase? Well, because you have allies that you need to give the disguise treatment to. Epic. And I spotted another one. False tracks. That is, I have to click here, click there. That is a 0 cost one. So really, like, false tracks. It's not really that great. You can put these on your boots, but it's a 0 cost. I didn't spell it right. It was false tracks. Okay. But non-detect is like, that's level 5 actually. We have to wait till level 5 to get that. But if we're getting that something for the boots, we might as well also get. Why am I scrolling all the way up here? Speed, flight. Well, steadfast is kind of. We already have that as an accessory trait. The speed, which we're reducing the mana power. Mm-hmm. Speed. And with that, we have 4 infusions. Pretty good. And 3 spells. That's enough for level 1. Whoopee. Now we can go crazy with skills. And get Rogue Cunning. Yeah, I know. I'm supposed to spin the wheel to see what other classes I need to do, but like, it's right there, man. This is come on. So with this, we get expertise in all our skills, and so like, we can get expertise in intimidation, so that we can properly whistle people down, despite our hilariously low might for a giant born. It's so funny. Anyway, next is, I guess if we're getting that now, we could just get cheap shot. Considering we're trying to inflict poison, we might as well. You could just go long death even at that point. Mm-hmm. Come on, you got it. Get cheap. It's cheap shot. Come on. Why not? That's what we'll get at level 4, I guess. And then level 3 is the arcane armor with Artificer. We do still get a free thing to put into the armor, so invisibility. We're doubling down on the invisibility, you guys. Oh yeah, if we're doing all that, we should have also gotten like, we're pretend we're getting expertise in like stealth as well. So we can use invisibility, and then arcane armor gives us invisibility as well, but that one also gives you disadvantage on talent. What did it do? Oh yes, no, it does not prevent. It doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. Okay, good. Yes, so you can use that to just get out of there. Yep. Oh, I put those in the wrong spot. Did it? Oh, click the bubbles. Oh. Well, I'm not keeping exact count of how many skills we got here, bud. Whoops. Bam, bam, bam. The bam. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, I don't know. You'd probably also need investigation. Maybe with survival. You know, it's. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, man. No, I don't want to keep count. This is just a fun draft. This is just a fun draft to get us to think because we were like, what cool infusions do we need? Oh, and we should probably actually get weapon training. You don't get weapon training unless you go down the path of marshals. So, reposition is the first maneuver I thought of. Position is the first one I thought of, but maybe more of an attack maneuver would be good. Um, knife, knife. We're doing stabby stuff. Get two knives, I guess. And right, we only get two. Pretty sure. This is copied. Nope, three. We can start with three, so we can get a ranged option, like a little silencer gun. That'd be cool. Sure, just put. Why is it? Silence. Silence. Oh. That's our gun. Hee hee. And the knife is gonna have silent as well. Epic. He's still a giant though. But if he's powerful and a giant, yeah, 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 yep, yep. Restrained. Yeah, that's sure. You got slam, sure. You got throw, but for our secret agent, we are grappling. Um, we are grappling and we are restraining. We are doing a leg chokehold on them. Still will need another spell slash fusion. And I kind of want to put the translator, but there's a chance I might roll the language one later. So, um, hmm. There's my there's a limited burrow speed. Level 2, we can put we'll be able to put no at level 3 we should be able to put 3 properties into our armor because armorers get an extra one. Um, and me well barrel speed is equal to 3 times. We still can't. It's still 2. Climb speed. Secret agent man. And I gotta keep swapping the thing right around. We'll also just need the there's a poison resistance. What does dwarfs have the trait that gives them the poison resistance? And it is called Toxic Fortitude. But he's a magical crafter, so he already has that. It'd be nice and fitting. In that case, stone blood. Stone blood. Do you bleed? No. I already got the poison resistance. This is already pretty good. And now we could just hypothetically think of some more traits just to add, not traits. infusions. What could we just add to like maybe give him more of a power spike? Because we could still put these into an item. Throwing, enlarge, reach, direct. Oh my gosh, we got knives. We could be returning this whole time. Or arcane ammo. We got arcane ammo for our invisible gun or silencer gun. And then long shot throw. Now with the throwing one, this one is actually very powerful because it lets you take an object action to throw an weapon to a point within 10 spaces, and then you make a ranged martial attack against every target that is within the weapon's range. And then it returns right back to you, allowing you to grab it with your free hand. That is a line area attack that costs 1 action point. So, like, but then it might not actually use the creature's AD as well. So, like, this been kind of busted. I should have picked whether this is just. I wanted to just say, you learn the piercing shot maneuver, and you can only use it with this one, but also it's like it's 10 spaces. Yeah, that's the line attack. Sure, I think it's actually the line. It only goes up to 8, and yeah, something that gives you an infusion that gives you a maneuver would be cool. But I didn't homebrew those. Yeah. Else. Oh, no, we already have debilitating strike. If you want to inflict conditions, it'd be much more consistent than having to get like a critical thing. Critical hard point would be funny because he's a giant and he can break things. The change damage type, that one should be used just so he can deal poison damage. I guess we want to deal poison damage to the things. It's not like it's gonna like really help, but I think you gotta get the idea, you guys, right? We're kind of getting the idea. This is our secret agent. It's except he's a dwarf and a giant born. He's a wide guy, and he has to disguise himself as thinner people. Ta-da! Save this as giant agent map. Agent Artificer. Ta-da! Okay. We are now going to open the blank up. And we'll start again. Let's pick a new trade and see what it gives us. There, click there, click there, click there. Here we go, baby. Here we go. Occultism! And we'll do the ancestry twice. Dragon, we're dealing umbral damage. Alright. And Shadow! Yep. Crazy. Okay. So, right off the bat, I am just going to call this the Shadow Dragon. Shadow Dragon, based off of the hit video game Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon. Was it a hit? Frankly, no. No, it wasn't. But we love it all the same. Anyway. Draconic Breath. Umbral. Shadow. Gift. Cloak. Shadow Cloak. Ta-da. That's 2/2. I guess the dark vision. That's one thing we don't have to get an infusion for. It is a... Oh, what is it? Fusion. Infusion. Magic. Magical. Craftsman. Cold. Resistance. Ghosts are cold. Ghosts are very cold, you guys. And this could be our apothecary. Could be. Or we could just do Paragon for this. Chat, what do you think? We're going to do Paragon or Apothecary? Because there's a chance we might roll something else later on that would also be Apothecary. Potions are spooky. No, yeah, potions are spooky. Come on. Come on. We got it. We got what is the skill? What's the feature? Of course it was potion. Potions and poisons. Potions and poisons. As for talents, I am going to just quickly open up shadow option. So I was reading those earlier and I was like, ooh. Ooh. And I'm thinking I'll add shadow manipulation. Yeah. Shadow manipulation. This one trait. Nope, talent. Lets you extinguish flames. Gives you a 1 space aura of shadow. Decreasing the illuminate, making it dark at any time, and then letting you teleport to a dark spot. Simple enough. Then we have the Shadow Strike. When you make a martial attack, you can spend 1 AP to target a foe's charisma and make them intimidated. Immobilized. Your attack deals +1 damage when you make an attack against a creature you're hidden from or that is immobilized by shadow grabs. Okay, so more damage. What? Yeah, that can be level 4. course, this means we do have to be a melee guy, so we'll get ritual knife, which no, it's fine. This will just be a knife, even though it's ritual. No, this is going to be the spell focus. I can't remember what the ritual knife property has, but then we'll just get another knife. Perchance. Hang on. It's black. It's white again. Nope. Is it? It's white again. Please. And then the dagger's an actual melee weapon. We love knives here. We love our knives. Okay, so what umbral spells can our guy get? Umbral, imbue. Yep. Yeah, it's that again. Then, no, we gotta gotta look up the spell list here. No. Spell list builder. I need conjuration. I need. Yeah, fine. I'll show you guys. Elemental. Transmutation. There was the mystical weapon. Bind is obvious, but then we also have Shadow Tether, and we want to use Shadow Tether instead of Bind because then we can get the +1 damage. Cold Imbue as well. Cold Imbue of Death. And we could just get more cold spells, just because ghosts do be cold. Primal Hide. Tendrils from Beyond. Oh, Unholy Aura. Unholy Aura? What is that one? Excuse me. Creatures are doomed in the area. Area spell. Oh. Oh yeah, actually. Yep, that is the one. You know why? You know why we're getting this one? Actually, we can just get this one normally. Because we need some spells to go with our spell bomb. Spell bomb. And we'll pick one of the spell infusions we don't have on our spell list, being an umbral damaging spell. I'll look those up. Oh, sorry, I was a little delayed. Yes. Corpse explosion. We'll get corpse explosion. As a no. It is hilariously an area spell, but like you can cast it in a range. It's a reaction. So like no, that one doesn't work. I hope that one wasn't included in our calculations. I think it was included in our calculations. I do want that one though. So okay, fine. Spell. Oh. Spell casting. Corpse. Explosion. And then, if it turns out we can't use it, well, we got spell casting, so now we can use that. With that, and that. And that's that. Darkness. Darkness is a thing. We can naturally create an aura of darkness around ourselves. But this lets us make a ranged darkness ball. And then death. Disintegrating beam. Tempting. Very tempting. But I will oh, that's an area. Oh, it's sustained. We can't use that. Hey. Better double check the darkness one. Oh, that one's a sustain as well. We can't use sustain spells with spell bombs. No. All right. Guess we're stuck with Sphere of Death. Sphere of Death. And then technically I can get the darkness one. There. Okay, that's 3 infusions. And yes, I got it. Okay. I need to focus. Focusing. Running low on brain juice today. Umbral Wave. Sure. That one we can also learn as a spell bomb. Though, we also can just learn spell potion. What possible spell should we learn through that? Thankfully, I have the list. Area none. Check any. Sustain no. Here's the spells we can get potions. I can pull though I forgot to mention with the other one, these are spells we can use with the spell focus, but it's like you can give this to yourself or to a willing creature, and they will take the effect of the spell. Do they want to take Arcane Bolt? No. Do you want to take anything else here? Not really. Do we want to drink Dispel magic. Yeah, see, maybe I should have vetted these because yeah, I guess this potion one might be lower than the other ones. I can see why they picked this one as a subclass because obviously the fantasy's there, but also it's not picking the other two spell infusions are just kind of better. So having something that cheaply gets you these is good. So yeah. Okay. I need. We can just get the healing one, but I do also want to see the emboldened ones. Death Ward. That's a fun one. That is a fun one. Oh, and then it was Private Hide. I was seeing that and I was like, oh yeah, that's that one. I believe it just gets you more PD for an hour. So we can get that. Then there's I'm just wanted to double check that one anyway. See, that's on the transmutation. So we didn't have. Now we have to make those that into potions. We could learn that as a spell. We should learn that as a spell. What's the PD? Range, durability, armored. You get another PD. Heavily armor. You get elemental damage resist. Elemental damage resistance. That was the other thing. Okay. That might help. That could help. But because that's a transmutation spell, we gotta learn that here. Okay. So, double checking. Level 1, we have these 3 spells. We're gonna need a maneuver just because we want to be efficient in stabbing people with shadow gift shadow strikes. Sunder strike was the no. Well, that's cost 2. We need the ones that cost 1. Push 1. Swift strikes. So we can use Swift Strikes once per turn, and then we have to cast. Well, not once per turn, but like you get the cast. You use this once per combat until you use a spell enhancement, which involves you having to use these and make an enhancement with it. Because I don't think using a spell bomb or a spell potion counts, but we can use the spell casting. So let me double check. We got the 4 here. We learned 3, so then we learned that one at level. One of those at level 3. No, we're learning 4. We learned 4 at level 3. Whoosh, woof. Yeah, see, there's a lot here to deal with. We need just. We can just learn in infusion. No, we still need to pick a spell to go with the spell potion. Hey, magic armor is mage armor. That is under conjuration. So we can learn that one too. Absorb elements is under elemental. But also, Absorb elements can only target yourself. Let me just double check. Self. That one only targets yourself. Guys. 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 Make this a potion. Even though that one's also one that we can learn. Okay, make that a potion. Death Ward is not one, so. Mage armor and primal armor is pretty good. But then we learned that spell, and we got that, and we got with cult, so then we would have picked the int. It might have been better to get mage armor if we were going to focus on being PD and int. So it's funny how we can get both of those now. Cool. So yeah, let's just swap that out. Mage armor, and we can give that to our cook that up for our allies. And then at a later level, we can indeed just get an infusion to get primal hide anyway. We can get both. And then we can benefit from the spell potion. Hooray! That's everything. I feel like we could just get one just infusion. Not a spell infusion, but like an infusion. Change habitation now. The critical condition to immobilize, maybe. To deafen or blind. Blinding would be pretty good. Yeah, the dancing one. That one. Whatever. Skipping this, skipping that. Wee ba doo ba doo. Immunity sounds fun. Thorns. Thorns. Put that on. Oh, yep. Still gotta wait till level 5 for that. But sure. Of course, my new homebrew version is going to call it Umbral. Retaliation. Or was it called Retaliate? Umbral Retaliate. My homebrew version. Ba-ba-ba. More PD stuff, but that's not as good as our spells. Very pretty good with magical resistance. Too expensive. Like, seriously, way too expensive. Save protection, not detect. Be nice to get just a Bane or the Hunter spell. I think we're good. I think we're good. We got options. Still didn't pick anyone for sentience, and I feel like, yeah, sure, a spooky talking book, a spell focus or dagger or some amulet sounds like a fun thing. So I can put my fun sentient. Pretend I spelled it right. Sentient there. Yippee. Oof. Getting a little tired. I just feel like another one. Even though getting a little tired. You'll be fine. Here, click there. Save as. Send in digital. Yeah. Shadow Dragon Apothecary. Apothecary Diaries. Alright. Double blank is back. Click there. Click here. We're ready. I don't remember. Yeah. I guess I didn't tell you that I did make the change that I wanted to do before by moving the starting movement over here and then getting the tier bonus there. Ta-da! I did do that. Okay. Wheels. Wheel. 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 Nope. Wheel. We'll just wheel this one first. Human. After all. Gnome! So we can just have a really smart human. Sounds great. Now we do the tree. Brewing! Huzzah! So yeah, now we do have to make another apothecary. What a shock. Come back. There was a gong sound effect this time. The commander. Yeah. Okay. Oof. Gnome. Guess what? They are a guy. What is it? Mental clarity is a given. Mental clarity. Sure, we'll take attribute increase. Or, yeah. And just the undying one. Let's go. Alright. Oh, the mana increase. Oh, we gotta get a mana increase, right. Infusion magic. Magical craftsman. He's gonna be very. This one's gonna be. I'm not gonna write all that stuff up there. But gonna be very charismatic because brewing can be used with charismatic or intelligence. And yeah, this is the potion and poison, and you know, alcohol can be a bit of both, if you know what I mean. Inspiring presence. And then we'll need to get some maneuvers. Something fun. Heroic taunt. That's the plan. This is our drunken master. This is our drunken master, you guys. Heroic taunt. And then we'll need Um, something fun. Yeah, think about it. We'll talk about the heroic position. Pass through something fun. Ah, well. But we'll need the infusions. And this is... We'll at least start. We'll get the primal hide. And then for... Well, I'll have to jump back over to look at what spells we can make with the potions. Haste, Empowered Sight, Danger Sense. Yeah, Danger Sense is gonna get could either be scrapped or get completely reworked, considering the changes to the initiative thingy. Planar Protection. That is a enchantment one. It'd be crazy to drink that and then just you're good. Blessing of Water. I guess enhance ability. But that's also under the other one, so I think we can't do Sanctuary. That'd be a weird potion to drink. You know what? Inflict poison. That's gonna be our um, spell potion. Spell potion. Inflict poison. You're making a bunch of vials of poison, and you're just serving them up to your allies. It not to your allies, enemies. You can, if you're persuasive enough, trick your enemies into drinking this. It will only work in like non-hostile environments. So like don't. But on the other hand, it'd be easier. Charm. Charm. You can have the potion be a love potion. It's getting a little grapey. We'll throw in the fear one just to say, hey man, we're just trying out all the emotions, you guys. We're just trying out all of them. And if you're going through all of this, you might as well grab close wounds. You can just get a healing potion, just because you're drinking all these. Why not? There isn't just a spell that gives you temp HP, is there? Not like, oh, we need to get an enhancement like what Mage Armor does, but like, I don't know. Hang on. I lost my page. We go 10 HP. Yeah, we know what 10 HP is. Resolve. That's the one. That's a drink a potion. Drink a concoction to give you some temp HP for a temporary turn. That's more like it. We're still searching. Arcane Barrier, that is a spell we can cast as normal. Unholy Aura, that's also a spell we can cast. Elemental Shield does give you temp HP. And then Retaliation, that's where I got the name for the spell that's in Retaliation. Yeah. Death Ward also gives you temp HP. But when you're almost dying. And Arcane Shield is the area attack thing. It's one space. No, you can't use that with it. Oh yeah, there isn't just a spell that gives you temp HP aside from Elemental Shield. That's a surprise. Oh well. We will at least also throw in enhance ability, because with that, admittedly, we can also just make that a spell because that's on a spell list. We can have that be what yeah, we can just cast that. But also remember that the apothecary has the ability to also give what is a basically bless whenever they make these potions. But they can also put Bane if it's one of the ones that you trick people into drinking. I'd imagine that the apothecary in a like higher level campaign or something could like find ways to trick these two infusions. So like with spell bomb, you can just pick any spell, and then you get to pick any area attack to then inflict the effect onto multiple people. And then with the potion, you might be able to take any spell and that, yeah, maybe any spell that has to be sustained, and then say it is automatically sustained for 1 minute. It still has to be one that targets a single creature, so it can't be a summon spell, but something crazy like that. I like it. What's a fun weapon to just... I want a club. Or, you know what, a pole arm. Pole arm, just a nice reach weapon that you can use to bop people on the head because we're also a drunken monk. Commander's Call could also be used here, but we want to ensure we have Inspiring Presence, so then whenever we just use Heroic Taunt or Resolve or something, or use a partial enhancement, we're also just healing our allies. So then they don't really need the healing potion. Yeah, there's a lot. Tank guard. Oh, a tank guard. Those can be quite big and heavy and hard to hit people with. it would basically be the same as a hand club. Think of it like a hand club. Thank you. Well, and I'll just say yes. We'll pick a spell focus. And this is all just to get people thinking, just to brainstorm ideas. So we don't really need to finish it properly. But I like where this is going. Getting tired. All right. We'll save as. Drunken Gnome. Ho! 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 You've been gnomed! Nautical gnome, and you've been gnomed! If only we got the dwarf on this one, because then we can get that iron stomach. Yeah. Anyway, it's been 2 hours. I want to try arting again. I don't think I have it in me. I'll have to try. I technically have time tomorrow. Feeling like a little slight stream, but you know what? I can't do art streams unless I have like a camera pointed towards pen and paper, which I was kind of planning to do. Then I was like, I'm tired. So maybe I'll just end the. We'll be ending the stream. Thanks for coming. A total of 3 people. 3 concurrent. Nope, we had 13 viewers. Woohoo! We had a max of 4 in sometimes. That's great. Yeah. Let me know. I guess if there's anything you also like about these streams. And see you soon. Bye.